What's up, guys? So I had a lot of requests to check out the Galaxy S20 Ultra here in 2024, this late 2024. A lot of people were concerned with the overall gaming performance. I had a lot of questions about that. And I just want to run through the device here for you guys if you guys are interested in picking this up. I think this is one of the best times, honestly, to buy a S20 Ultra here, simply because the price is just extremely cheap on this phone now. It's much cheaper than the Note 20 Ultra, and you can still take advantage of the SD card support here. So, they have brand new ones for $261. I didn't even know you can still get this phone brand new. You have quite a few brand new ones as well too. Excellent, $229. So that's really good, certified eBay refurbished. So yeah, guys, if you don't know how to buy, use refurbished, watch the video I did. What was it, like last week or 2 weeks ago? Watch that video, and you know, I give all the information on how I do it. But let's go ahead and dive into it here. So let's take a look at the hardware of the S20 Ultra. So we're pretty much almost going into 2025 here. I think the hardware doesn't look too bad. This is probably one of Samsung's most bland designs of all time. It just looked extremely bland compared to the S10 series and the S21 series. It just has a very boring design. I think they played it very safe here. Now, one thing that I do like about the design is this phone is extremely comfortable to hold, even though it's a massive phone at 6.9 inches. It is a big phone, but it's kind of comfortable to hold. It's really nice on the palms here. And absolutely love it. It's way easier to hold than a Note 20 Ultra. So if you have smaller hands, then this is the phone you definitely want to get for sure. Especially if you're going to be getting, you want a big phone, right? And overall, hardware-wise, I haven't had any issues with this model here. Really no charging port issues, no button issues. Everything has been really solid here. You guys can see I put my little magnetic ring on here, so it works with MagSafe stuff, so like the thing in the car. So if you want to put it on a MagSafe ring in the car, stuff like that. Yeah, so overall hardware wise, IP68 dust and water resistant. You got this gigantic camera here that we'll talk about. And overall, just still, beautiful hardware still, even though, again, I think it is a little bland now. Talk about the display on the S20 Ultra here. It is a full 1440p display. It's dynamic AMOLED. It is 120 hertz on here. You can only use the 120 hertz at 1080p though. That is the only thing about the display, but it does still look really good. It's a really sharp display at 511 for the PPI. The max brightness is actually pretty decent here as well too. It's 1400 nits peak brightness, 6.9 inch display. We don't have that boxy shape, so it's a lot easier to hold in one hand. And overall, the display looks fantastic. It's very colorful. Has that, that classic Samsung display that you really like with those punchy colors. And we got the punch hole. It is a slightly curved display as well too. And overall, the display, it looks fantastic, guys. So that's probably one of my favorite things about the S20 Ultra. You just get this massive panel here. Guys, let's look at the gaming performance here. So this is one of the main concerns with a lot of people. This phone does a fantastic job in the gaming department. We're still able to play PUBG at 90 frames. Now, again, this is the Snapdragon 865 model. I do not have access to the Exynos model. I have no clue how that would run. This is perfectly fine, very efficient. We're not getting any heating problems. You could play games for a pretty long time and not have any issues with this phone. And this goes for not just PUBG, Call of Duty, pretty much whatever, playing emulators. It is a very smooth experience. So we do have on here, again, Snapdragon 865. The micro SD card is on board with this phone. That is also one of the things that people love about this phone. You have that expandable storage. So if you're somebody who takes a lot of video, you download a lot of content, then this is definitely something that you will really appreciate. And you do have also on here 128 gigs of internal storage and 12 gigs of RAM. So yeah, so the S20 Ultra is pretty much still a powerful device. It's still a powerhouse when it comes to overall giving you that performance that you would want. And you guys can see there's really no lag at all with this. Very fast, very smooth. So for the price that you're paying for this phone does better, like I said, than some mid-range phones these days now. So overall, if you're buying this for gaming, I would say this is an excellent buy, especially on a budget. I don't really see this phone, even after it stops getting its security updates, because the last major OS update was Android 13, and even 5-8 years from now, apps should still be supported on this phone. I mean, my Galaxy S9 and my Note 8 is still able to update apps and stuff like that, so I wouldn't really worry about that. By the time this stops getting app updates, you'll be ready to upgrade to another phone anyway. Here are your Geekbench scores for your reference if you want to compare them to another device. These are the scores that I got here, slightly a little bit higher than the average, but you can compare those to these phones down here or whatever you're interested in buying. So always make sure you do that. Let's talk about the fingerprint scanner, guys. So the fingerprint scanner is very fast. I haven't had an issue with it, and it works perfectly fine. So there's no issue with the ultrasonic one, and no issue with that. Also, you do have on here the stereo speakers, which sound really good. So let's go ahead and check those out. I'm gonna go ahead, max the volume. So speakers sound pretty good still on the S20 Ultra. Good amount of bass out of the top speaker. They don't sound completely flat. And yeah, you get a good overall balanced sound from these speakers, so no issues in that department. Let's talk about the cameras on the S20 Ultra. Can you still get a good shot out of the S20 Ultra? And the answer is yes. Most flagships can still give you a very good photo if you're in good lighting. You got a 108 megapixel standard, 48 megapixel periscope telephoto with 4 times optical with a 10 times hybrid zoom. You also have a 12 megapixel ultra wide. It can shoot in 8K 24, and then a 40 megapixel selfie that shoots in 4K 60. And you can see from the shots here, it still can give you a very good shot basically. Now this phone, like most old flagships, will suffer in low light, guys. So the pictures will come out a little bit softer, and yeah, you might get like that grainier kind of look. But if it's any type of decent lighting, you can get a very good shot out of here, guys. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about the cameras, especially for this price point. I think the cameras still look very, very good. Obviously, Samsung has improved on the the 100 times zoom and all of that, but it still looks good. I mean, you can see from the shots here, guys. I really like the camera still. Video still pretty solid on here, and yeah, I wouldn't necessarily avoid this phone because you think the cameras are going to be bad, because they're not. They're just simply not bad at all. So let me know what you guys think about these steals. Am I completely off here? Now, the battery life on the S20 Ultra is absolutely fantastic, guys. It is very, very good, and I'm not just saying that. I actually did a battery drain test on this phone. This phone was, I think, the last to give out, or at least the second or something like that. It was pretty good. So standby time is amazing on the S20 Ultra. Screen on time is really good on the S20 Ultra. I wouldn't worry about battery life. This is a excellent phone when it comes to the battery performance. It's got a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. We also have 45 watt charging as well too. And it just looks, the battery life is just awesome. You get well over a day. I would say like a day and a half for screen on time for most people. And yeah, guys, that is pretty impressive. So you got the wireless and reverse wireless charging on here as well too. So battery life gets an A+ for me. It's awesome experience, guys. So the S20 Ultra is a fantastic phone to consider. I think you definitely should check this out. You could spend a little bit less money and get this phone over the Note 20 Ultra, especially if you don't need the SD card support. And I like everything about the phone at this price point. I mean, it just feels like a modern phone. Even today, nothing feels old about this phone necessarily, besides maybe like the low light photography. That's pretty much it. So be sure to let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.